The mighty Mississippi stretches for 2,300 miles, its rocky riverbanks touching 10 states. But in a deeper sense, the river flows through every corner of the American imagination. Thanks to Mark Twain, born as Samuel Clemens in 1835.
Well, Sam Clemens grew up here on the banks of the Mississippi River, and it influenced his life greatly.
Welcome to Mark Twain Cave. We are a labyrinth cave of 260 passages. We're famous because Mark Twain used to come out here and play in the cave as a boy all the time. And his adventures here in the cave stuck with him his whole life. He ended up writing about this particular cave 5 different times in different journals and books.
Twain's hometown, Hannibal, Missouri, is a living memorial to the author.
So the Mark Twain boyhood home has been open to the public since 1912, making it one of the earliest historic house preservations anywhere in our country. Now we're climbing the steps to the second floor of Mark Twain's boyhood home. We're heading to the front upstairs bedroom, which would have been the parents' bedroom. This room becomes Aunt Polly's room in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The rear upstairs bedroom is most likely where Sam Clemens shared a room with his brother Henry. And in Adventures of Tom Sawyer, this is the room from which he escaped to go play with Huckleberry Finn at night.
The town also pays tribute to the characters Twain created.
Many of the sites that he mentions are real locations. The home where Aunt Polly's raising her children is the Mark Twain boyhood home. Across the street, Laura Hawkins lived, who became the model for Becky Thatcher.
Say, Becky, was you ever engaged?
What's that?
You're to walk with me when there ain't anybody looking.
And just down the road, there is a museum named for a Twain character less celebrated, but no less significant.
You're in Hannibal, Missouri, Jim's Journey, the Huck Finn Freedom Center. And I got that from the Missouri Archives.
Jim's Journey Museum founder Faye Dant says the story of Huck Finn's companion on the Mississippi, the runaway slave Jim, is the real heart of the novel and was based on Twain's real-life friend, Daniel Quarles.
I started this in 2013, and I did it because the story wasn't being told.
Hallelujah. Jim's selfless humanity in the face of slavery's cruelty
I was going to be free. Nobody's going to take Jim back now.
Makes him a character that lingers in the mind of every reader who ever encountered him. That includes esteemed author Percival Everett.
How long did it take you to write James?
The correct answer is 65 years.
Whose new book, James, has been described as a retelling or a reimagining of the Huck Finn story from Jim's perspective. Descriptions that Everett says don't quite capture it.
If anything, it's an homage.
Let's call it a refocusing. Is that fair?
That is fair. Sort of a continuance of the conversation.
What's the reason to read this book?
The book is about America. Honestly, not a companion, because you don't have to read Huck Finn to understand it or to get through the novel. But Twain is a literary hero of mine, and it makes me happy that I can even bring more readers to Huck Finn.
In Huck Finn, Jim begins as a minor character and ends as the moral center of the story, becoming a friend and a father figure to Huck.
I consider myself writing the novel that Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens was not equipped to write. He wrote a novel about a white adolescent moving through this American landscape. And for the first time in a novel, we have someone dealing with that aspect of the American experience that has become the most defining feature of it, which is race. But he couldn't write the story of the character Jim. It wasn't about Jim, and he couldn't inhabit that character, so I tried to do it.
Everett has written 24 novels and won numerous awards. He was shortlisted for the National Book Award and the Booker Prize, and was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. His 2001 book, Erasure, is the basis for the Oscar-winning film American Fiction.
Deadbeat dads, rappers, crack. You said you wanted black stuff. That's black, right?
I see what you're doing.
But literary critics say in James, Everett has written a masterpiece.
So let's hope the book is worthy of this praise.
The 67-year-old author uses a combination of satire, humor, history, and philosophy to make readers think in new ways.
He gets to name himself. There's a lot of power in naming.
In this book, Jim goes by James. He is educated and literate, speaking in so-called proper English with the other enslaved people and in dialect when he's around white people.
James gives lessons to the children in the slave quarters about how to speak slave and what to say in different situations, how not to challenge the superior feelings of the white people around them.
Twain wrote Huck Finn in the dialect of the time, and the N-word is used 219 times in the novel. The language has led to the banning of the book. What are your thoughts on that?
People who want to ban books either don't read books or don't understand books. It's an important novel about America. It should be taught, and it should not be taught with any watered-down language.
The book is controversial today because many of the issues that are addressed in the book have not gone away in the intervening 100+ years. They're still with us, and they're still problematic today as they were when the book was written.
In James, the currents of the Mississippi River are still carrying the nation's hopes and fears. It remains a symbol of the freedom that we, like Huck and Jim, have to determine our own direction. With photojournalist Kevin Dolman, Mike Lowe, WGN News.